Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at another NECA figure. This figure is Nathen Drake from Uncharted 4, actually. Uncharted 4. This figure was released in 2016. As you can see here, we're getting a good 360 view of the figure on this turntable here. This is a very nice figure. I really wish NECA would have done more Uncharted figures, but as far as I know, they only have this one, and I believe they have one from Uncharted 3. And that figure, he's a little bit pricey for me. That's why I never got him, and he's kind of hard to find as well. He's kind of hard to find in good shape, that is. Aside from that, though, this figure is really nice. I will go over the little things I do and don't like about him a little bit later on, and then overall the figure. But what we're going to do next is get this figure off the turntable and take a look at everything that this figure comes with. Alrighty, folks, so here it is. As you can see here, he does come with quite a few little things just for being one single character, and so, or one single action figure. It does come with quite a few things. So the first thing we're going to go over is, I guess, the extra head sculpt. As you can see here, here's the extra head sculpt, kind of like the angry... Sorry about my nails, I'm actually going to cut them today. I should have probably cut them before I made the video, so I apologize for that. But so yeah, as you can see here, here's the extra head sculpt it comes with. I do like the little beating up on the, on the head right here, his messy hair. I don't know, there's something about his head sculpt on this and on the one that's on the figure himself. They don't look like Drake. There's something about him that just doesn't look right. From the video games to these, no, I'm not gonna say yes, or no, I'm not gonna say yes for 100%. I'm not gonna say no 100%, but it's a solid no for me. But as far as the paint application, the paint application is actually very nice, very nicely detailed. Yeah, this overall the figure's done great. It's just the head sculpt that was one of the biggest issues I didn't like. Let's almost set that aside. It does come with an extra hand, which is, I don't know why he only comes with one closed fist hand. So yeah, there it is, a closed fist hand. And as you can see here, I had to pull it away for the camera for a bit, just make sure I wasn't seeing things. He does have the wedding ring on, because he, in this game, is married to Elena Price, or Fisher, is it? Elena Fisher or Elena Price? It's Elena Fisher, sorry. Elena Fisher, which now it's Elena Drake. Elena. So yeah, he is married, so he does have the wedding ring on. I just noticed that, actually. So also in the video game, this is a new thing for the Uncharted games-ish, I guess you can kind of say. Because I don't believe in the first one or the second. Actually, I think on the second one, when he was in the mountains, he was kind of using the grip, the hook, and the rope and hook thing. I don't even know what they're called. I know he was using them on the second one when he was following that, like, the indigenous tribe guy, and yeah, so I know these were on the second one, but they didn't put too much detail into them. So these ones, he does come with one that this is mixed media, which is just regular string, and it's tied out to a piece of plastic here that is the hook itself. If you guys played the video game, he actually does it with his brother a lot. So I haven't played the game in a while, so I'm not exactly too sure of the details. And this one. Now, this one is both made out of plastic. As you can see here, the plastic rope and the plastic hook, and it's actually like this, kind of closed off. This is actually supposed to snap onto this some way, shape, or form. But it always keeps falling off. It's like way too loose. I really don't know. Ever since I got it from the figure, it was just always like this. I don't know if it was supposed to be hooked on. I don't know if it was, I really don't know. So I've never tried to do anything. I didn't try to super glue in it or nothing like that, because I figured if I ever sold it, that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know. So he does come with this, which is nice. He comes with two weapons. He comes with an AK-47. I do believe that the magazine does not come out. The other thing about this, it does have a strap. That was the next thing I was going to show you. This strap does come apart, so you can kind of put it over his body. And it kind of just, I'm going to have to look to the side a little bit because the camera is a little obscuring me. and it just kind of pegs in right there. And it doesn't really work that well, but it's not bad. Let me see. There we go. Let me put, yeah. So I mean, it does do it. It's just once you have it on there, there's no playing with the figure. It's just gonna, stand there with this because it comes right off. I'm not a big fan of that. I would have preferred that didn't happen and that was just completely stuck on there. Maybe I can super glue it. But like I said, if I ever get rid of this figure, I don't want the next person to think that I modify this figure in any way, shape, or form. And if they want to, they're more than welcome to do it. But I know I'm not going to. But I do like the strap. I do like how it's a completely different color from the gun itself because, well, guns and straps are not always the same color. They're not just black. I do like they incorporated that different color for the strap there. And so I do appreciate that. And then the last thing that it comes with is the 1911. This is, as much as I want to say they put in some nice detail, it was casted in nice detail, but there's no paint application to it. It looks like there's a little bit of a spray of, silver gunmetal kind of color in there, but not much. It's just plain black. And as you guys know, when they do cast of plastic guns, the detail is nice. It's all there because that's how the cast was, not because there was detail and whoever made it was like this. So I do want to say that they did a nice detail on the cast of the gun, but as far as the paint, no, they did not. And so that's everything that this figure comes with right now. And what we're going to do next is we're going to get the figure and we're going to take a closer look. Alrighty, folks. So here he is, Nathen Drake. Actually, I was actually going to move the camera a little bit. So before we do all that, let's get a good measurement. This figure stands, actually he stands shorter than 7 inches, which is a first kind of for NECA. Well, of the figures that I have. So he stands about 7 3/4, 6 3/4 or 6 7/8, like not exactly. I'm trying to do like at the top of his hair, that very top, not where I can see it, because I can see it at 6 5/8. I want to say 6 3/4 actually at the top of this right here of his hair. So 6 3/4. Now what we're gonna do next is, instead of going forward with the camera, we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna bring it down like this, and then we're gonna get the figure and bring him close. So yeah, going back with the detail on this figure it's completely there, from top of the bottom. So let's start with the head sculpt. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of this head sculpt, although this head sculpt looks a lot more like Nathen Drake than the other one does. And that being said, they both do not look like. It's a hard no for me. They could have done a lot better. And what's weird about it is, I looked up this figure to do, it's a little bit of research before I do. I always look up figures to do a little, I look up figures to do a little bit of research on them before I do the video, so I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck about the figure like I don't know. So I do a little bit of research about the figure. And when I was looking at this figure, I was like, is my figure, does its head sculpt look nothing like Drake? Are these like this? Like, it was just so weird to me now that I'm really looking at them. Yeah, it's just not a big fan of the head sculpt. But anyway, so the rest of the figure, if you guys played the video game, he has a nice blue shirt that at first it's nice, now it's all dirty and junked up, and you can see his belt there, nice pants, and a nice boots as well. Very nicely detailed. He has this little pack right here on his belt, and you can see his gun holster as well. And what's cool about it is that you can actually put the 1911 into the gun holster and actually have him holding onto the AK-47. There is one thing that I really don't like about this figure, and that is he has a closed fist right here. You can put the closed fist on this hand as well because it comes with closed fist, but he only has one hand, which is the left one, his left one, to hold weapons. So he's never going to be holding a weapon with his right hand. It's always going to be this one. And I don't like that whatsoever. I don't know why they did that. Not a big fan of that. But that's how, that's how this figure came, so it is what it is. I honestly expect them to, now that I'm kind of looking at it, does he fire with his left hand? Does he hold it with his left hand? and then support it with his right. Huh, I'm gonna actually have to go back into that game and really look at that, because now that gets me curious. If any of you guys know the answer or already looked at it before I did, leave a comment, down below, and I'll definitely check that out. But so yeah, this figure is really nice. It really is. It's a nice part of the collection that you guys have seen. That I have the Gears of War, I have God of War, I have all my favorite video game characters in action figure form next to my video games. And I'm just sad that they didn't come out. If they would have came out with, this guy with the Sully and an Elena, that would be. They didn't even have to come out with his brother. They just the original three, Sully and Elena. That would have been amazing. Really big missed opportunity there. But overall, I'm just really glad to have this figure. So what we're gonna do next is stand him up here. He can stand pretty good. There we go. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna stand him up and we're gonna do some some articulations. Alrighty folks, so going over this figure's articulation here, we're gonna go from top to bottom. It looks like there's a single ball joint at the base of his neck, and actually his head does not go 360. It stops right there, and it stops right there, and I believe that's because the way his neck is actually made, it stops, like his jaw is hitting right here at the back of his neck. So yes, his head does not turn 360 degrees, which is kind of a shame because most figures do. His arm does turn 360 degrees all the way around. It does go up to about there. Actually, before I put it down, his bicep does turn in 360, which is nice. He does have, no, he does not. He has a single joint. Excuse me. He has a single bend joint at the elbow. Let's see here. He does have actually just a regular joint at the, I want to say it's a ball joint, but it's not. He does have that 360 turn, and he has the up and down. But as you can see here, I don't know if you guys can get a good look at it, it's a regular ball joint. So, or I'm sorry, it's just a regular joint. So let's see, he has no movement at the torso. Actually, he does a little bit. Actually, he does. I will take back those words. He does have a little bit of movement at the torso. There you go. And as far as going back, he does not go back that good. So right there. As far as his waist goes, there's, I was about to take my words out. I'm just going to take those words back. He does have a 360 turn at the waist, which is kind of stiff. I don't know if it's just this figure, that's how it is. 360 turn at the waist. His legs go up to about there, which the way they've made this figure, these pants kind of hinder his movement, and they're actually soft plastic so as to get the movement up there. I would imagine that if it was hard plastic, you wouldn't be able to go that far up. As far as going back, he does go kind of far back, and I like that. And a lot of figures go back because this is hard plastic. It stops right there and it doesn't allow it to go further back. But because this is kind of softer material, kind of like a rubbery material, it lets it go back a little bit more. So as far as going sideways, he does have a nice sideways movement there, 90 degrees you can see there. And let's see, he does have a double bend at the knee, as you can see there. Which kind of looks a little bit weird actually, that I'm kind of looking at it. And then as far as his ankle goes, he does have like I think it's a ball joint there, because he can actually move it side to side there, and you can actually move it up and back, or I'm sorry, forward and back. But because of these pants, they're not like soft rubber like up here. They're hard plastic. It hinders the movement there. So set him down here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to bring out some figures and do some comparisons. Now, like I told you guys before, there we go. Like I told you guys before, I don't have any other Uncharted figures to do comparisons with. But what I am going to do is bring out some other video game characters to do some comparisons with. Alrighty, folks. So starting off this comparison video, I wasn't too sure which God of Wars I should bring out. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring out the first God of War from God of War 3. Stand him up next to him. As you can see there is a big difference. Let me bring it back up the camera just a little bit so you guys can see. There's a big difference right there in the figures. I'm sorry, you saw my finger that I was just trying to move it up. There we go. Yeah, there's a really big difference in this figures. That's what I was saying, NECA. This one was... like I said, if this one was 6 and I think it was 6 3/4, at the top of this part right here. This figure is way above. It's almost like 8 inches. If you want, I mean, I've already done a video for this Kratos. You guys already know how tall he is, but it's just, he looks monstrous next to this Nathen Drake. Nathen Drake next to this almost 7 or 8 inch figure looks ridiculous. Ridiculous. But there he is next to Kratos, the God Killer. And then next I'm going to bring out the other God of War. I'm sorry, not the other, but the other Kratos from the God of War 2018 video game. Just kind of get like a little bit more comparisons going. I don't know if you guys really do like the comparisons or not. I do like comparing some figures because it's a time where you're kind of never... Oh God, this guy doesn't want to stand up. It's a time where you'll obviously never see Kratos and Nathen Drake in the same picture together, you know, obviously the same video game. So it's kind of nice seeing them, you know, in action figures next to each other. And there you go. Again, this figure is just monstrous. Kratos, almost 8 inches again, as to, you know, Nathen Drake's 6 3/4 inches. So nice little old school, or old school. This is honestly his last video game, and this is his latest video game, so it's nice seeing their latest video games together. So that's a nice kind of view right there. And the last one I'm going to bring out, I'm just going to bring out Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War. There we go. There's Marcus Phoenix next to Nathen Drake. And now you can see these two, they're actually similar in height, although this guy looks just like a beast next to Nathen Drake. He makes him look really, small. So yeah, there's Marcus Phoenix. I was gonna bring out some other Gears of War, but I was kind of like, what for? He should, Marcus Phoenix is the main one. So there you guys go. Alrighty, folks. So here he is, Nathen Drake from Uncharted 4 from NECA, released in 2016. If you guys liked the video, please like and share it. If you guys have any comments, questions, anything positive, anything negative, constructive criticism, anything at all, please comment them down below. Anything helps. Also, I do ask that if you do watch my videos, please watch them all the way through. It actually helps with my videos. It helps YouTube actually circulate my videos and put them out there more. When you actually just kind of skip through them or kind of watch the first half, YouTube thinks that it wasn't a good video, so it doesn't circulate it and put it out there more. Also, if you guys want an inside scoop before YouTube and see what videos are coming out, before YouTube, I got an Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Definitely please give me a follow on that. With all that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.